Hey folks, Eric here, the Whatever Guy, because it really is whatever for me. And do you folks want to know about the Alabama medical cannabis cartel avoiding and evading the dodging the questions of the depositions from the plaintiffs? You guys stick around, man, and we'll talk about that. As you guys know, my name's Eric. I am the Whatever Guy, and I use videos a couple days a week, basically keeping you guys updated in the world Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, hemp cannabis, just what's going on around. Well, today, man, sitting here bullshitting around on an early Wednesday morning. I'm not gonna lie to you about it, man. I was not planning on doing an article this morning. I read this article this morning. And again, man, it's like we get no good news of anything going on with the Alabama medical cannabis cartel. As it stands right now, we've got a crap load of lawsuits going forward, and now they're being sued again for simply evading and like not answering questions in the deposition, not sitting for the depositions, and just a lot of stuff going on. They do not want to give over any information to the plaintiffs. I can understand that in a lot of ways, but let me just say also the other reason why I didn't really want to do the article is because Bill Britt, man, he wrote this article. He writes it in a very professional way, but in my opinion, he writes it in such a way that the normal everyday person has a hard time understanding what he's saying. I've got a college education, and I've got to read some of his articles 2 or 3 times because he, insists on using, big words and words that we don't use in everyday language. And I appreciate him writing the article. I appreciate the effort. But as it stands, man, just write the article in a way that most Alabamians can understand it. You can pretty much eliminate someone like me coming on here and talking about your article, whatever the case is. But having said that, moving forward to this article over here, so we're going to take a look at see what Bill Britt has to say over at the Alabama Reporter. Yeah, this is alabamareporter.com. It says AMCC sued for dodging full discovery answers and evading deposition responsibilities. So apparently they're not even sitting for these like depositions or whatever. Now I do know that each commissioner that they were going to depo was 6 commissioners, and I believe, or excuse me, 5 commissioners, and I believe John McMillan was included in that, so that would have made 6. It would have been 7 hours apiece that they would have had to set for those depositions. Apparently, they're not doing that. Apparently, they're not meeting the timeline to sit for the response, for the depositions, and apparently they're not sitting long enough for the depositions, is what I understand. This has been a critical development in the long-standing legal battles over the future of the Alabama medical cannabis industry. A new lawsuit has been filed against the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission that underscores the ongoing and intricate legal battle surrounding the commission's licensing procedures. The heart of the controversy pivots on the commission's alleged use of privilege to evade discovery and deposition requests, highlighting a complex legal struggle that has far-reaching implications for the state's cannabis sector. Filed on Monday, the motion by INSA Alabama alongside co-movements Alabama Always, Gemstone Alabama, Bragg Canna Alabama, and challenged the AMCC stance, urging the courts to draw adverse inferences against the commission based on their reliance on a so-called deliberative process privilege. This move, grounded in the Alabama Rules of Evidence, notably Rule 512A, marks a critical juncture in a series of legal maneuvers aimed at dissecting the commission's licensing, operations, and decision-making processes. Guys, this is a crazy situation right here. Here you have the AMCC that has already been ordered to basically sit for these depositions and give over this information, and now they are basically going through and saying, okay, we want to give you this, we're not going to sit for this, we're late for this, and it's really become a struggle for these guys to get the information that they want to do, that they want to gather. Now, let me just say this: in any type of lawsuit, there is always a motion of discovery, okay? And that discovery is all that evidence that they are requesting for the AMCC. The judge has already granted them the privilege of asking for that information, and has already told the AMCC, hey, you got to get that information over. And apparently that's not what's happening. And I find that interesting alongside the article that we did yesterday with them removing the power of the ethics committee of what's going on with this commission right here. The crux of the dispute lies in the AMCC's persistent assertion of privilege to dodge comprehensive responses to discovery inquiries and deposition appearances, a stance that the plaintiffs argue is unfounded and contravenes Alabama's legal standards for transparency and accountability in governmental proceedings. This contention is buttressed by historical precedents and the Alabama legislature's clear mandate for openness in deliberative processes of governmental bodies, presenting a stark contrast to the commission's current defensive posture. Guys, I'm sorry for the way that Bill Britt wrote this. Like this is This is a crazy way for him to write this, also understanding that the majority of people in Alabama do not have a college education. As the legal wrangling unfolds, the Montgomery County Circuit Court's prior ruling, which expanded the scope of discovery against the AMCC, stands as a linchpin for plaintiffs. This ruling, handed down by Judge James Anderson, has opened the door for a more penetrating examination of the Commission's activities, allowing for the deposition of commissioners and the acquisition of crucial documents that could shed light on the inner workings and potential irregularities of the licensing process. The plaintiff's steadfast opposition to the AMCC's appeal to the Alabama Court of Civil Appeals underscores a broader critique of the Commission's legal arguments and its approach to the litigation. They highlight the Commission's apparent reluctance to engage in an open and transparent discovery process as emblematic of a deeper issue within the Alabama's fledgling medical cannabis industry, a sector that remains mired in regulatory and legal challenges. This legal episode, set against the backdrop of Alabama's evolving cannabis landscape, signals a pivotal moment for all stakeholders. As the courts grapple with the nuances of privilege, transparency, and regulatory oversight, the outcome of this lawsuit could have lasting implications for the state's approach to medical cannabis regulation and the broader quest for accountability in governmental decision making. Guys, this is crazy right here. Like this is like we're going to get to a position where we're going to move forward, and we're just going to keep being like we have all the lower tier licenses, guys, that are already issued. Those guys are sitting there waiting. The processors, the cultivators, I believe the secure transport, all those guys are sitting there ready. They don't have a dispensary to get it to, and these guys obviously have tied it up in court. And it appears that, like I said many times before on this channel, that we're going to be tied up in court many times. Another reason why I didn't really want to cover this article today was simply because this is just more bad news. Like this is just pushing it off a lot further. Like just issue all the licenses. Like give every one of those guys a license and give them an opportunity to get medical cannabis up on the shelf within 60 days. And those that don't meet the requirement on the other side, then take away their license. Like don't allow them to move forward in the process after that. And that would solve this whole problem right here. Or get to a point where we can get out and get all these discussions out in the open. Like, for instance, like I can agree with most of the people that were issued licenses in the integrated facility sector. Okay. But here's the thing, like I don't agree with Trulieve. I don't agree with Trulieve being our only minority owned application in the state of Alabama. Like in all the state of Alabama, are you telling me that Trulieve was the only minority-owned integrated license we could give out? And we've already covered articles on this channel of people that were more qualified than Trulieve, that were people from the state of Alabama that had been long-time residents actually doing business in the state of Alabama already, that we could have gave that license to. So we do need some answers from the Alabama, the Alabama Medical Cannabis Cartel. However, I do not think that Bill Britt needs to be the one that's covering the news articles on these things that are going on. All right, folks, whatever got signing off, and I will talk to you guys later, man. Love it. See ya.